There's one fundamental reason why I do not believe in Alcoholics Anonymous. I say this as somebody who is well over 5 years alcohol free, who is over a year substance free, somebody who has released so many addictions in my life. And of course, somebody who still deals with other addictions, behavioral addictions, overeating, compulsive buying, and so on. But the reason that I don't agree with Alcoholics Anonymous is because every day when somebody stands in a meeting, they have to stand up and say, "Hi, my name is, and I am an alcoholic." And that goes against one fundamental principle of neuro-linguistic programming, a presupposition, a healthy assumption that we make as practitioners of neuro-linguistic programming, which is a person is not their behaviors. Love the person, change the behavior. We label ourselves, and those labels are very powerful. If you say every day, "I am an alcoholic," then you are casting a spell upon yourself. A label that anchors you, that fixes you to some behavioral pattern. And behaviors come and go. Behaviors are programs, applications on an iPhone that you can delete and reinstall. But to say every single day for the rest of my existence that I am an alcoholic, for me, that ensures one thing, that you will have to fight to stay sober the rest of your life. Now, maybe that fight in some cycles, in some seasons, is a little bit easier, and maybe that fight in other seasons is difficult. Maybe you've gone years and you've packed away that 5-year chip, that 10-year chip, that 15 or 20-year chip. And maybe those things, maybe those steps have become easier and easier. And if every single day you continue to label yourself as an alcoholic, you will never have claimed victory. Our words carry power. Words are spells. We are casting magical spells every single day into this reality. We label ourselves and we become that thing. We have even shown that our bodies respond to the energy of our words. The whole practice of neuro-linguistic programming, which is a phenomenal methodology, a system of tools, a way of thinking, a way of behaving, a way of communicating that has massive, massive effects, positive effects, transformational effects on not only my life, my clients' lives, the lives of many, many people. Think about some of the biggest influencers and names out there. Tony Robbins, Barack Obama, the Clinton family. I hate to refer to politicians because politicians, well, that's a whole other topic, but these people know the power of words. They know the power of neuro-linguistic programming specifically. NLP programming, like rewriting the programs in our brain, the neurology, the nervous system, our sensory data that we get in, and our nervous system, our brain and our nerves and our senses. Linguistic, language, the words that we speak, the words that we use to create our reality. So I never, ever totally resonated with the 12-step program because one of their practices is to get up and to curse yourself. I will not use those curse words upon myself. I am not an alcoholic. I never have been. I have run alcoholic behaviors. I have found myself in alcoholic patterns. I have had alcoholic tendencies, but I have never been an alcoholic. I'm 5 years plus alcohol free, right? I am somebody who chooses sobriety and clarity and purity over intoxication. Even to say that I am alcohol free can be a restrictive label, but it's one that for me occasionally has positive benefits. So you must be very conscious about the words that you choose to speak, the words that we think, because we have 4 bodies that we navigate in this life. It's not just this physical body here. We have a spiritual body from which our mental body emanates, from which our emotional body emanates, from which our physical body emanates. And these 4 pillars, the 4 elements, they are reflective of how we navigate this world. And every body that is above creates and influences each body below. We have been taught in this life to think that we are just this meat suit, that we are our body. But the funny thing is that even in our language, we can see that that's false. Bob Proctor, phenomenal influencer and teacher since past, he said, you don't say, I am hand. You say, this is my hand, because you are not your body. You say, this is my hand, this is my face, this is my head, this is my chest. You don't say, I am chest. You don't say, I am body. You say, this is my body. But we have to understand that our words make a tremendous impact, because every thought that we think creates an emotion. That emotion creates a subsequent reaction or response from our endocrine system, the hormone production system, our lymphatic system. Every single possible piece of our body responds to our emotions, and it is our emotions that then create those physical chemical compounds. We are a chemical factory, and we can recognize that our physical reality is a projection, a reflection of our mental state. Our mental state, which is also a reflection of our spiritual nature. And so when I work with my clients and they come up to me and they say, I think I might be an alcoholic, I say, no, you're not. Not at all. You might be dealing with some alcohol-related challenges. You might be struggling with the consumption of alcohol, but you're not an alcoholic. And just starting with these magical words, reframing and changing our language to say something instead like, I am a beautiful infinite soul who is here in this beautiful body, having a limited and yet unique and potentially infinite human experience. And I have been dealing with difficulties around alcohol consumption. Saying something like that will change the emotions that are experienced in our body, the chemical hormones that are produced, and will actually create different behavioral changes, because 95% of our behavior is automatic. It is unconscious. We have 3 minds that we get to navigate this reality with, these 4 bodies with. We have our conscious mind, which is what you are using to listen to this, what you're using to make your decisions, what you use to set your goals. We also have our unconscious mind, which is responsible for keeping our body alive. It's responsible for our survival. It is responsible for keeping our organs functioning. It's responsible for keeping your breath going when you're not thinking about it. It is responsible for keeping your cells reproducing. And it is also responsible for keeping the reality that you experience as a reflection of what you believe deeply inside. And then we have our superconscious mind. Our superconscious mind, which is, you could say, our higher self, our soul, our connection to the divine, that greater mind from which we all emanate from. As the Hermetic principles teach us, that all is mind, everything is mind. Every single experience and physical material good that we hear, have an experience in contact with, is all a reflection of a mental energy. God is mind. And so that superconscious has an effect and can trickle down and make changes on the conscious mind. It is like our parent, our infinitely wise parent. In fact, in the Hawaiian tradition in which I study, Huna, esoteric lineage of teachings, The superconscious mind, or the alma kua, our spirit, our higher self, our soul, however you want to frame it, that alma kua roughly translates to loving parent, an infinitely loving and patient parent. Parent to what? To our conscious mind. And our conscious mind maintains that same relationship reflected downward, because as above, so below, another fantastic hermetic principle, and understanding that as above, so below, as within, so without, everything is a reflection from every octave, from every dimension, inside and outside, above and below, is all mirrored, is all reflected and consistent. We see that our conscious mind has the potential to become the infinite loving and accepting parent that guides the unconscious mind, the unihipili, the little creature, or the little being that is responsible for making all of this stuff work. And thank God that it does, because if you had to think about every cell and every production of every hormone and chemical in your body, you just couldn't do it. And so when we understand that there is this relationship between our three minds, our four bodies, we have this relationship, and that every word that we speak, every word that we think creates an impact, has an impact, actually molds the reality that we're in. Well, then we start to take our words a bit more seriously. We would never stand up in front of a group and say, my name is Christopher Armstrong and I'm an alcoholic. No, delete that, cancel that. I am not writing that in my reality. My name is Christopher Armstrong, and I am an infinite soul having a human experience. And part of that human experience has been addiction. And part of that experience in addiction has been really challenging. And also, I believe that my experience in addiction has been here to help me to level up, to sharpen my skills, to become more powerful, and to become an influential leader here on this plane. What has addiction been for you? Let's rewrite that story. In fact, some of the primary work I do with my clients is simply that, helping them to get in control with rewriting their story. I am not a healer. I do not fix anyone. I am a guide. I'm a guide and a wisdom keeper and a teacher who helps you to rewrite your story. So if you're an addict, well, what if we change that? What if we said, you are an infinite soul who is having an experience where addiction has been a challenge for you, and you're choosing to rewrite that experience and to learn from all of your mistakes, recognizing that your mistakes are your greatest teachers, that there's no failure, there's only feedback. What would change in your life? How could you empower yourself to become a better version of yourself, to become a leader and a guide and a teacher for other people? I want you to understand that your words are powerful. And whether you are a spiritual being, or you are, but whether you believe you are or not, whether you choose to embody that nature as a spiritual being, does not matter to me. However, I will tell you that you're not going to get as far as when you recognize that you are infinite, that you are limitless, that this body, this identity, is the limitation of you. You are infinite. This is simply one little simple expression of you. And when you recognize that your true essence, your true nature is infinite, then all of this expression, this limited version of you, can mold and change and shape. You can become the shapeshifter, become whatever it is that you desire. And also recognize that you have a certain blueprint, a certain design. And we can see that design through your astrological facets, your human design, your Western or Vedic astrology, your Mayan astrology. There's so many ways, lenses that we can view ourselves, because you are this infinite gem of a being. And you have so many facets. And also each facet has been specifically designed, carved, cut, so that you would come here to fulfill a purpose, a mission. What it is, I cannot tell you. I can guide you to find that for yourself. I can guide you to the systems that can help you to understand yourself. Systems that are modern and ancient, things that have been around for thousands of years. You can look into the symbols that have been carved on pyramids, left in stone, in massive megalithic structures that exist and have existed for God knows how much time, to show you that you have a purpose and a design, that you picked this life, this body, this family, this lineage of generational bullshit that you came here to transmute, to alchemize, to turn from lead into gold, because you have a desire. Your soul had a desire to come here and to learn, to grow, to evolve, and not only to learn, grow, and evolve, but to help others in the same moment. Because it's not just about you. Yes, everything in this experience revolves around you. You are the center of your universe. You are the center of your world, and you are also minuscule, minute. And when you can hold those two contrary things, those two beliefs and ideas, that paradox, you can truly be free. Because I can look to the stars or to what the stars have informed me about myself, and I could say I came here to be a messenger. I can see that I have, for example, a Chiron in Gemini, a Chiron, which is the wounded healer. That wound that I carry that is so deep, that is almost so deep that it carries on throughout lifetimes. That wound that says that people might not understand me, and yet my purpose is to stand up here and to get in front of people and to speak. To trust that whatever comes through my mouth is what needs to come through, and yet I've had so much resistance to it. Why is that? Because it's written in my fucking star chart. Because my soul picked it to come here, because when I knew that as a soul I would come here and have these difficulties, it would cause me to go through so much grief and challenge that I might do something like study Neuro-Linguistic Programming, becoming a trainer of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, so that I could learn how to more effectively speak, and that you're listening to me right now, that you're sitting right there in that chair or with your headphones on or in the car or in the subway listening to this means that you too have picked some hidden gem of not a curse, but a challenge, an obstacle that you would then overcome so that you could become some greater version of yourself, to lead and guide others, or to bring out that art that is hidden within you so that you could help others to see that there's more beauty in this world than we have been taught. And most likely, if you're here listening to this, you have dealt with addiction in some way. And God, look at all of the addicts. There I did again. Delete that word. We are not addicts. But those people that have suffered through addiction, that have dealt with depression and fear and anxiety to levels and degrees that some people just don't understand. And who were they? Who are they? They are some of the greatest creatives, some of the greatest artists, musicians, writers, poets, philosophers, people that for some reason when we wake up in the morning, we have difficulty to stay focused on the positive. But by God, when we do it, and when we channel that energy into something creative, something with more purpose, something that speaks to our soul, we will create something that others can only dream of. It's time, brothers and sisters, to take that energy, those fears, those anxieties, those doubts, that depression, that negativity, that addiction, and to turn it into something greater. Because addiction, what if it was just nothing more than creative fire, intensity, power, intellect that people don't understand? And when it is channeled into something greater, when it is given a purpose, like a wildfire, instead of being let to run loose into the forest, is focused into the structure and the design of an engine, where that fire, when given structure and direction, can cause us to move forward at impressive speeds, to accomplish things that other people have difficulty believing that could be true. What if your suffering was your greatest gift? What if my suffering has been my greatest gift? Earlier today, I wrote down a list and I reflected on how many things have changed for me in the last 8 years. I have experienced divorce, addiction to cocaine, infidelity on both sides of the spectrum. I have experienced psychedelic journeys that I could not possibly even write about. I've experienced states of insanity that people just write about in textbooks because it's hard to conceptualize. I have experienced experiences of near death. I've fallen into bouts of depression. I have broken free of addictions. I have experienced relationships that were so traumatic. And the list goes on. And here I am. And why? Well, because I'm here to show others that you too can celebrate your past mistakes, that you can learn from them, that you can grow from them, And then in fact, each of those mistakes was not actually a mistake. It was simply feedback to tell you that's not the direction to go in. Maybe there's a better one. And so I sit here in front of this camera today, speaking with no specific purpose, only to be able to just practice what I know that I came here to do, which was to speak and to share. My prayer and my wish is that somebody watches this and recognizes that they too can heal from all of those wounds. That every scar on your body carries a story. Every scar has made you stronger. And it is not some imperfection that you need to carry and shame yourself for. But those scars are here to make you more unique, more resilient, more interesting, more attractive to the people that need to hear your message, that need to feel your energy, that need to see your art. So please, when you notice yourself stuck in a pattern of labeling yourself, cursing yourself, saying that you're an addict or you're a failure or that you're an alcoholic, do me a favor. Cross that out and write something new, something better, something more empowering. Even if at first you don't believe it, even if at first the voice in your head says, that's not true, that's bullshit. Do it anyways. And remember that repetition is one of the most powerful ways that the unconscious mind learns. That's why you don't have to think about tying your shoes anymore. You just do it. Or maybe you're like me and you take a shortcut and you tie your shoes once and then you just slip them on and off. But hey, different ways of being for different people. My name is Christopher Armstrong, and I not only work as an addiction transformation guide to help you to set your old life on fire so that you can be reborn from the ashes like the phoenix that you are, I'm also here to help you to awaken to your true purpose, to live your most authentic self, to have the fun that you want to have, to share and create the beauty that you want to share and create, because there's something greater for you. And if you're listening to this right now, it means that you're ready to take that next step. I want you to get on my email list. I've got a newsletter that's coming out that's going to help you to learn all the different tricks and tips and tools so that you can transform yourself. And also for those of you that are ready to go faster than you ever could have imagined, I have limited space for those that want to work one-on-one with me. So if you're ready, follow the information below.